As you are all well aware, I'm a PlayStation YouTuber at heart. I consider myself to be the king of PlayStation news, but recently there hasn't been a lot of stuff to talk about. Obviously, the Sony State of Play presentation was mediocre at best. Don't get me wrong, Astro Bot looks absolutely fire, but then it's like, I mean, what else is there? You can play Concord. Is that right up your alley? No. Concord 2024 is looking like a little bit of a quieter year for Sony than many of us would have anticipated. But we got some new news coming out, rumors, leaks, speculation that I want to talk about. One thing is potentially good, and one thing, well, it's potentially bad. So if this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe if you are new. Or don't. I can't really force you to do anything. It'd be cool if you did, though. But let's talk about what's going on in the world of PlayStation. And we're going to start out with the bad news first because, I mean, why not? We might as well. And it involves something that I own, that I spent a lot of money on, and really, it hasn't been delivering quite the way I think a lot of people were hoping it would. And that is, of course, PSVR 2. Now, from a technological standpoint, PSVR 2 is pretty dope. Like, it works really well. Gran Turismo 7, when you're playing with like a wheel in my little cockpit, like, it's an absolutely stunning experience. It is unlike anything else I have ever really done. And I'm not the biggest VR guy in the world. Like, I have a Quest 2 and I have the PlayStation VR 2, but I was hopeful for this that, you know, there'd be some cool, at the very least, experiences from Sony. Well, Sony, much like the PlayStation Vita, doesn't seem very interested in the PlayStation VR 2 anymore. If you've been following the games that have been coming out for PSVR 2, they've all been third-party games. We, of course, got that Horizon game at the start of the system's life cycle. I didn't really care for it. Like, you just went like this the whole time. Climb up Sunshine Mountain, heavenly breezes blow. But, you know, you would hope that Sony would support it, but it seems like that's no longer going to be the case because a new report went out there that Sony has pretty much abandoned PSVR 2. It's not selling all that great. They don't seem very interested in making products for it. Supposedly, there's like one or two first-party games in development for it, but kind of beyond that, the slate has been wiped clean. And on one hand, that's very disappointing because I am a PSVR 2 owner. I would like to be able to play more games. I think you could do a lot of cool things with it. But on the other hand, it kind of does make a little bit of sense because Sony seems to be stretched like very thin right now. You know, look at the output on the PlayStation 5 that we're having right now. Look at 2024's output. Astrobot, a remaster of a PlayStation 4 game with Until Dawn, and Concord. That's it. They're working on other stuff that's presumably going to be 2025, but that's pretty much all they have to offer this year. So I guess it kind of does make sense for them to kind of abandon this because for whatever reason, they seem to be stretched a bit too thin with their development studios. I am pretty disappointed with this, however, though. It is cool that PSVR 2 will be getting like a dongle attachment to be able to use on PC, and I think I'll get a lot of fun out of that. Potentially, like, the headset itself is actually very good. The technology within the headset is very good. How that will translate over to PC with some of the features missing from the PlayStation 5 version of PSVR 2, that really remains to be seen. But it really seems like PSVR 1 got more support than PSVR 2 is getting. And it's kind of a parallel between like the PSP and the PlayStation Vita. At the start of the Vita, Sony was all on board, and then they were like, nah, never mind. At least with the PSP, they were on board with it for quite a while and did a lot of cool things with it. But with the Vita, they just kind of got bored with it. So, I don't know. I'm sure many people did not buy a PSVR 2 because, I mean, it was stupid expensive. It was like, I think it was $500 for the one that came with the Horizon game. So, you know, obviously the high price point, that coupled with the PlayStation 5 itself, you're spending $1,000 roughly in order just to play PSVR 2 games. Was it really worth it to some people? I mean, if there's not killer software, people aren't going to buy the hardware, which I've said time and time again. But for whatever reason, there seems to be some people who think that that's not the case. And I don't understand how those people exist in the real world, but if you're a PSVR 2 owner, all 7 of you out there, be sure to let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. Do you see the sun setting on PSVR 2? I mean, we really should have seen this happening after it was like Horizon and GT7 got a free update. Like, yes, there'll still be third-party games, but what's the incentive for third-party developers to put their games on PSVR 2 if nobody's buying it? That's why the Quest 3 is doing so much better. Now I gotta buy one of those damn things just to play Batman. Why can't Batman come to the PSVR 2? Cheap ass Sony. But like I said, we do have a bit of good news, I guess you would say, but it's more of a rumor, and I'm not quite sure I believe it. So one thing that you notice with the PS5 is the fact that they like to do some back catalog stuff. We, of course, have seen PlayStation 1 games the entire time. PlayStation 4 games are a go, of course. PlayStation 2 has now been creeping onto the system. I made a video taking a look at the first 3 games that released on PSVR 2, and evidently I made a pricing error. I said that Tomb Raider was $30. It's evidently $20. I don't know. I pulled it up on my phone and it said 30, but my mistake, $20 for the Tomb Raider game on there. But there's one system, you know, it's not ideal, and that, of course, is the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 had a complex architecture, not similar to the Saturn, but kind of in terms of emulation and stuff like that. Obviously, PS3 emulation has come very, very far recently. I've made a few videos on it. Maybe I'll make another update video this weekend on PS3 emulation, because it is very impressive nowadays, and you can play like most of the stuff on there, but it would be nice to be able to play it on your PlayStation 5 without having to do the cloud. All of the PlayStation 3 stuff right now is indeed on the cloud. You have to stream these games to your PS5. And honestly, it works better than I thought it would, but it's still not ideal because, of course, you need an internet connection in order to do this. Well, it's been rumored for a very long time that PlayStation 3 stuff was going to be coming natively to the PlayStation 5. And now, once again, these rumors are spurning up. People are talking about it. Special Nick, aka Shesh Paul Nick, as we call him on this channel, has been talking about it. Jeff Grubb, who I don't think likes me anymore, he's been talking about it as well. But Shesh Paul likes me. So, you know, we can talk about this. But it seems like there's a little bit of division between those two, because one person is saying that it's going to be like select PlayStation 3 titles natively, and then one person is saying it's going to be emulation based PlayStation 3 stuff on the PlayStation 5. And to me, that's kind of a different thing, because when I think of native, I think of I'll be able to like pop a disc in and be able to play it. I have a few PlayStation 3 games: Alpha Protocol, Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid Collection, Metal Gear Solid Vengeance. I have some PlayStation 3 games, but native versus emulation are kind of two different things as far as not only just how you'll be able to play the games, but the experience you'll get, because PS3 emulation, it's still not perfect, like not by a long stretch. There's still games that struggle to run. There's still instances where you have glitches and stuff that are not present in the base game. But the thing I take away from this is we've heard this song and dance before about native PlayStation 3 coming to the PlayStation 5, but now all of a sudden we're talking about it again. Why? What are we basing this on? I understand people have their own sources and rumors and crap like that, but what are we basing this on? Because if anything, we've seen how PlayStation has been handling backwards compatibility with this. We've seen the Tomb Raider stuff. We've seen, you know, that's emulation. The Tomb Raider stuff is not native. The Sly Cooper is not native. It's emulation based. And, you know, it's kind of contingent on what the original software had, as far as what you can do with the graphical output for widescreen support and stuff like that. So, you know, you have differentiating experiences on your PlayStation 2 games on here, and there's nothing wrong with that being emulation based, but it just sounds too good to be true. I feel like if this was the thing that Sony could realistically do, they just would have never added PS3 stuff. They would have just waited a little bit longer and then did it natively, or did it via emulation, via whatever, dude. It's the same thing as far as bringing PS3 games to the PlayStation 5, because I would love that. But there's still so many PlayStation 3 games that aren't available on PlayStation 5 because of licensing issues. The aforementioned Metal Gear Solid 4, one of the greatest Metal Gear games of all time. It's pure fan service, which kind of goes into yesterday's video about companies not listening to their fans. Metal Gear Solid 4 was literally like, oh, you like Metal Gear? Well, here you go on a silver freaking platter. Everything you love about the game, and even more so, characters that are dead, hey, they're back. That game is so damn good. But it's almost, I'll believe it when I see it. You know, I'll believe it when I see it. If PlayStation 3 is indeed coming to PlayStation 5, not via cloud streaming, either via emulation or via native support, whatever the case may be. I'm not holding my breath on it. It sounds great. It sounds ideal. It sounds like something I would want. So it's probably not going to happen because nothing in life, nothing in life is easy. You want this? Oh, well, too bad. It's Star Wars, The Acolyte. Modern audience. Let me know what you think of this, though, in the comments section down below. Are you a disgruntled PSVR 2 owner, such as myself? Do you think that PlayStation 3 is going to come to PlayStation 5 in a non-cloud streaming way? I mean, it'd be cool, but it sounds too good to be true. That would be something to get Sony some good press, because after Astro Bot comes out in September, what the hell are we talking about? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, don't forget, I'm the king of PlayStation YouTube, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.